Week 2 of the Big 12 football season is here, and it is time to give you my picks. Let's do it. I've got my underdog, I've got my lock, and I've got my bad bet of the week here at Heartland College Sports. Hit the thumbs up on the video. We appreciate you doing that. Helps us out a lot. And also make sure you are subscribed to the show. So if you're new, here's what I do. I give you a lock of the week, I give you an underdog of the week, and I give you a bad bet of the week, meaning bet the other side of the bad bet. All right. So, first off, let's talk about my underdog of the week. My underdog of the week is going to be Houston plus 29 against Oklahoma. I know everyone's like, Houston's awful. They lost to UNLV. How could you possibly bet Houston? Well, here's the thing. I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, can it get any worse? Like if Houston had snuck out with a win over UNLV, that's probably a worse situation than if they just get their doors blown off in week 1 against UNLV with a new head coach in Willie Fritz, who I really like, who I think is going to turn things around. In many ways, that's like the best thing that can happen to a team under a new head coach who's trying to get a new culture, a new buy-in, and get things turned around. So I got in on Houston on plus 28.5. I think you can still get that in some places. At the very least, get yourself 28, get the 4 touchdowns. Oklahoma's in a position where I don't see them wanting to or needing to run up the score, right? There's no reason for OU to break out the playbook and start going deep into the playbook in a game like this. I think OU's going to win. I think it can be a very comfortable win. But at the same time, while it can be 4 touchdowns or more, I don't think it will be 4 touchdowns or more. I don't. And I think a lot of that is just because OU will take the foot off the pedal a little bit when it needs to. And Houston may get a late score to cover. Who knows? But Houston and Willie Fritz, he's going to have those guys in until the very end, even if it's ugly, because he's got to get buy-in. He needs to start to turn this program around. And it's only week 2. But you don't want to lose this thing early. You don't want this thing going off the rails super early after last week's loss to UNLV. So if nothing else, this, for me, this play is less about the data and the game and more just about the mindset around the game and why I look at it and I see an opportunity at Oklahoma or Houston plus 28.5 against Oklahoma. And I will add this as well. The vast majority of the tickets have come in on OU. 94% of the tickets are coming in on Oklahoma. That is a monster number. But here's the thing. The line's only moved about 1.5. So that tells me there's much larger bets being placed on the other side to have Houston cover. So that's part of the reason I've got them as my underdog at plus 28.5. Now, my bad bet. My bad bet is going to be Iowa State and Iowa under 35.5. Excuse me. So my bad bet is betting the under on Iowa State at 35.5. There's a lot of people who are doing it. 82% of the tickets are on the under because people think this is classic Cyhawk, 10-7, 13-10, 20-13, whatever it might be. But this is a different year. First off, Brian Ferentz is gone. This is not that offense anymore, okay? They've got a new sheriff in town. They want to rip it around a little bit in Tim Lester, and he's been brought in to bring a little more juice to this offense. And I think they want to prove that this weekend. They go up against an Iowa State team that I think is a little shakier on defense maybe than it's been in the past, especially in the front 7. Caleb Bacon's injury at linebacker is a big blow. That's their weakest line of defense. And Iowa, with their new offense that, by the way, Iowa State hasn't really seen a lot of, could be caught off guard. And this could turn into much more of a track meet, especially by Cyhawk standards, than what we've ever seen. On the flip side, yeah, Iowa's got a really good defense, but Iowa State has offensive pieces that it just hasn't had in a very long time. Since the Brock Purdy Brees Hall era. They've got maybe not that quality, but they've got guys who have been through it, right? When Rocco Beck came into this game last year, no one even thought he was going to be the starting quarterback last year. It was all Hunter Deckers. Then the gambling fiasco happened, and Rocco Beck got tossed into the situation, and it was a tough spot for him. But now he's got talent at wide receiver, led by Jalen Noel. You've got Abu Sama in the backfield. You have Rocco Beck, all these guys who played a lot last year and have gotten confidence over a year plus of steady college football play. They're not intimidated by this game. They're not going to be. And I could see this one getting played at a much higher score than what people project. The weather looks absolutely perfect for Iowa City on Saturday. You factor that in a little bit into a game like this, and you say to yourself, why would the under actually make sense? There's too many reasons to look at this game and feel like the over is the play here. So my bad bet is Iowa State under the 35.5. If you can get it at 35, do that. That's where I've got it, at 35. But I know some places it still might be 35.5, in which case I still think you pull the trigger on that. Now, my lock of the week. All right, here we go. My lock of the week is Cincinnati at home against Pittsburgh minus the 2 points. Now, there are reasons, obviously, I like Cincinnati. It starts with getting Corleone back up front for the Bearcats. An absolute stud at defensive tackle, has been cleared to play after dealing with somewhat blood clots and issues like that during the offseason. So that's a big piece coming back for the Cincinnati Bearcats, and you got to like what that means for this team. And then this got overlooked in week 1, but Pittsburgh, their running back, was declared ineligible. And a lot of people just didn't really pay attention unless you were a Pittsburgh fan. But their leading running back, Rodney Hammond Jr., was declared ineligible for the entire season. So he can still practice. He's still a part of the team, but he's out. You get Cincinnati at home, like what you've seen from Sorsby in week 1. I know it was Towson, but still, you like what you've seen. I think the offense is going to have some more hum to it. And then Pat Narduzzi throws some fire onto this game by insinuating that it's not that loud at Nippert Stadium. And he doesn't remember it being all that loud in his past at Nippert Stadium. And he's like, yeah, we've been piping in noise all week, and we're not really worried about that. Well, that fan base is going to be lit on Saturday at Nippert. And it's just all the reason more that I am on Cincinnati minus the 2 points at home against Pittsburgh. I think that Satterfield needs this win just to kind of feel good about himself in year 2. Listen, year 1 didn't go well. We understand it didn't go well. They won the one Big 12 game. They did play last year. They won it, but still, get this win. Move on to a week 3 if you're Cincinnati. Feel good at 2-0. You got to get this thing done, and you got to do it in front of the home crowd, who's now going to be extra fired up with your stud defensive tackle back while they're out their top running back. Give me Cincinnati minus 2. That is my lock of the week. So my underdog of the week, Houston plus 28.5. My bad bet is Iowa State under 35. And once again, that means I'm betting the over. So if the over hits, that's a win for me in the win column. And then my lock is Cincinnati minus 2 against Pittsburgh. So there you go. I'm Pete Mundo, Heartland College Sports. We cover the Big 12. Join us on our forums. Hit the subscribe button on the channel. Hit the thumbs up as well on the video. We appreciate you doing that, and we'll talk to you soon. Go Big 12.